Nanu nanu, and welcome to the Fortress of Dorkness, the nerdy nexus for your geeky needs. I'm your host, Beth Damiano, and it's Tuesday, so that means it's Comic Day. Today's monthly video is called Beyond the Big Two. Comic books have been around since even before Superman donned the cape in 1933. With over a century of publication, there are hundreds of comic publishers, both large and independent. Unfortunately, the average reader may only have exposure to the two biggest publishers, Marvel and DC Comics. Thanks, Kevin Feige and Warner Brothers? This segment is here to introduce people interested in comics or just looking for something new to read to other A, B, C, and D level publishers. This doesn't mean just American comics either. It can range to British, French, and Japanese comics as examples. For the first month, we've selected Saga from Image Comics. This extremely popular science fiction story is still running as of this video. Launched in 2012, it is written by Brian K. Vaughan of acclaimed Y the Last Man fame and illustrated by Fiona Staples, who recently took on the 75th anniversary of Archie. Saga is a space opera narrated by a woman named Hazel, who was born on page 4 of the first issue. It follows the story of her parents, Marco and Alana, two people born on opposing sides of a galactic war spanning the galaxy, who just want to live their lives in peace. But this is a comic book narrative, and so obviously that isn't happening for the sake of drama. Colliding events, flashbacks, and other techniques are used to drive the narration. I mean, look at this giant tortoise smacking weakling soldiers around. The story has been compared to Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones, and has even been called a modern Shakespearean tale for a mature audience. Its vivid collection of characters, worlds, science fiction and fantasy, with its often sarcastic and cynical humor and just strange-dies in general, have given it a unique allure to its growing fandom. One of the appeals of the book is Hazel's contradictory narration, often disagreeing with a character or decision in a derisive manner. Quick warning for parents. Though humorous and quirky, this is a very graphic comic. It's Image. What do you expect? At least it's not Lost Girls. If you don't want to spoil the birds and the bees for your kids, just be aware. There's a lot of sex and violence in the books. The fictional world of Saga was conceived by Vaughan in his childhood, inspired by such series as Star Wars, The Silver Surfer, and Flash Gordon. And like a lot of us nerds with our own headcanons, the world expanded over the years. After his wife became pregnant with their second daughter, Vaughan came up with the theme of the book: parenthood. In an interview with The Hollywood Reporter in 2012, Vaughan said, "I'm part of the generation that all we do is complain about the prequels and how they let us down. And if every one of us who complained about how the prequels didn't live up to our expectations would just make our own sci-fi fantasy, then it would be a much better use of our time." It just goes to show that daydreaming can pay off. Forget about math, kids! Our director's saying I shouldn't be like the other host. The characters have already become part of pop culture, most notably Lying Cat, a giant sphinx cat that's key trait is to serve as a real-life lie detector, indicated by the sole word it speaks: lying, when someone is, well, lying. This has been used in both a humorous and serious manner in the books. Lying Cat shirts are already on the market, and some of the bigger comic titles, like Daredevil and X-Men, make reference to the cat. Oh, and then there's Goose. Okay, that's enough Goose. Accolades for Saga have been universal. Vaughan's storytelling has been praised as being original and immersive in the mythology of the world. Staples' artwork has been recognized as some of the best in the business today because of her use of sweeping landscapes, vast worlds, and expressive characters. This book has won a total of 8 Eisner Awards, 9 Harvey Awards, and a Hugo Award as of 2015. You can find Saga in a few different forms. You can find issues at your local comic book store, or you can track down the 5 paperback volumes collecting the first 30 issues. These you can find at your local comic shops or booksellers such as Barnes & Noble and Amazon. You could also grab the first hardcover edition, which features issues 1 to 18 and other goodies. This isn't mine, but I'm taking it. I'm taking this. Most digital retailers will also have them available, though some issues may not be found because of censorship. Besides Saga, Image has a vast variety of comics that you should check out. They're responsible for such characters as Spawn, Savage Dragon, and more that we hope to cover as time goes on. Give it a try and tell us what you think in the comments below. That's all we have for today. Please like, subscribe, and follow us on Facebook and Twitter. I'm Beth Damiano, and you've been watching The Fortress of Dorkness. Never fear the dork up here.